Hey guys, it's Aaron from Rennpart. Today we're going to be installing a different oil pan on this 996. I built this motor about a month or two ago. We have 1,200 miles on it. This is the second or maybe third, I don't remember, oil change we've done on it. So we're going to put in a baffled style pan. This one is an FVD pan. This basically has the X51 style baffles that allow less oil to slosh back and forth. It is it's not a deep sump, so it doesn't hang down that low. I think it adds maybe 3/4 of a quart. It has these cooling fins, and it comes with a spacer. So there's how much lower your oil pan will hang. I would assume that's a 1/3 of an inch, something like that. Some new bolts too. There's an O-ring on there. So we'll be putting this between the pickup tube and the pickup, and then is resealing this. So we've got this oil draining. It was piping hot. I did use on all of the engines and all the cars that I work on, I like to use these LN magnetic drain plugs. I'll show you here. There's a little bit of sludge on there, which is what you want to see. If you saw this filled, we wouldn't be having a good day. So we'll see what else we find when we take the pan off on a new motor. I'd be curious to see if there's anything in there. Hopefully nothing that's not supposed to be there, but there could be a little bit of silicone, a couple of small wear pieces maybe from where it didn't get cleaned. I don't know, we're gonna find out. So we'll let this drain a little more, and then we'll pop the filter off and we'll check it out. We also have an LN spin-on oil filter adapter with the Napa filter on there. So we'll be cutting that open later. I didn't bring my cutter here today. This is my shop at VIR that has really good air conditioning since it's 90 degrees outside and high humidity. So we'll be working in the cool weather. Basically 13 10mm hex head bolts. You pop those off. There's 2 pry areas. One right here. Let me show you. One right here, you can wedge a pry bar in there, just pop it lightly. This does not require crazy strength. And then one right here. So usually if you pop that one, that gets half of it, you pop it over here, you get a little more. Every now and then you can kind of sneak a pry bar in right here and pop the back if someone got crazy with the silicone. So there's our filter. And so we have the oil pan off. There is no debris in there. A couple of little specks of silicone, but that magnetic drain plug does a great job of gathering up anything metal. So that's a good sign. You can see I use non-Porsche approved gasket maker on that pan, and it did not leak. And we've scraped off the block. Everything looks good. We have also removed the pickup tube. So the pickup tube bolts in with these 2 10mm headed M6 bolts. And you can see it goes in here. And I've taken this apart to clean it. I always check when I have these off. Sometimes gradu gets behind up in here. This just slides over and this clamp holds it in place. So now we're going to install the spacer since our new FVD pan is slightly deeper. So there is a gasket on the back side of this. Kind of common sense here, but just put that in this. And the new bolts, as you can see, they're longer to accommodate for the spacer. And we'll get that in, torque it up, put a small bead of silicone. We have the Porsche stuff this time on the pan, and change the filter, and we should be good to go. Okay, just wanted to show you how little silicone to use. You can actually use probably a little less than this, and you can see it's patchy in places. I will pat it down with my finger like so, kind of just lightly dab it to spread it out, and that should be enough. You do not want to use gobs and gobs and gobs of sealant because it will end up in your oil system, and it can, if you use too much, it will block that pickup screen that we just looked at, and next thing you know, you won't have oil pressure, and we all know what happens then. So do not use too much sealant. So in fact, it's a little thick in here, so I don't mind when I have a small trail missing, because then I can spread out the extra thick part. So of course you want to have your mating surface clean. I use a little bit of brake cleaner and clean out the housing, or I guess the sump really, and let it dry. Ideally you would let your oil drain overnight, or at least, you know, several hours, so it's not leaking on this fresh sealant. So that's it. We're gonna put it up and get it in and torque it to spec, and then we'll fill up with oil, put our drain plug in first, then fill up with oil, get that filter changed, and be good to go. All right, so we have this job completed. The oil pan is installed. We've torqued the pan down. We have torqued our LN Engineering magnetic drain plug in, and we've replaced the oil filter. You know, I usually wait at least an hour or two before filling up with oil to give that sealant some time to cure. Although I have filled them within 45 minutes and have not had a leak. So we're good to go. I'll show you a close-up of this. It hangs down a little lower, holds an extra 3/4 of a quart. It has these built-in cooling fins, and I like the simplicity of the design personally, but that is my opinion. So it's all installed. We'll see if that helps with oil pressure in high G situations. I do notice even with these all-season street performance tires on ramps and off ramps, I can get the oil pressure gauge to fluctuate pretty easily actually. So hopefully this will be a good upgrade. We'll be back with more. Thanks for watching, guys.